Today, we thought it would be nice to kind of do a fresh from zero to we won't say hero, but zero to getting some things going. So we'll kind of try to make it succinct and go from clone, dev branch, localhost. Yeah, zero to localhost. There you go. Like Bogey said, localhost. See the new UI because since the last time or two that we've shown that things have changed. Play with the hype palette, so pulling in some of the base hypes that are already created there, moving things around, and kind of hopefully make like a really tight little demo that it will be good to point people out that need refreshers or maybe friends that you're trying to get interested in and they want to know, where to get started. And some of the old videos and stuff are, unfortunately or fortunately dated a little bit. Yeah, it's being recorded. And yeah, so, things have changed a bunch. So some of the old videos, the UI will look different or the interacting world has been updated and evolved and improved. So, yeah, thought we would do that. And yeah, we can do some Fly.io server Oracle stuff again too. I think that'd be good, Rustan, as like an additional follow up to stuff like this. Let's see. I can share my screen. And now you probably see Hyperfy.how. Let me know. So also, yeah, wow, a lot of things have changed, huh? So right now we have Hyperfy.how, which obviously needs to be maybe rebranded at this point, is at docs.hyperfy.xyz is the new domain. Unfortunately, there were some issues with the other domain, and so now this is where it's at. As always, this has kind of been a compiling of the docs that are in the repo already, mixed with some community resources that were on different hackmds and such. So it's a little bit more than just a docs page currently. It'd be nice to kind of dial it in to maybe make this more just docs, and then like we can even make a different subdomain and it's like guides and resources, right? So like you come here and it's kind of clear cut straight docs on what you do, what you need. But these docs are all coming from what Ash has been putting in the repo under the docs and ref. And so it's straight from the creator's mouth, right? And you can search here, which is really nice. If you're trying to figure out Anchor or something, there you go. And so that's quick and handy. But let's go to Quick Start. We're on Quick Start. Okay. So this is the repo. And here are the commands that we're going to use. We can go to the detailed one real quick. If you're on Mac, you don't need to. You could just use your normal coding environments. If you're on Windows, it's recommended to use WSL2, which is Windows subsystem for Linux. And this kind of, if you're unfamiliar with that, this will break down how to get WSL installed. We're not going to go through that process right now. It's pretty laid out here, step by step. It'll also get you set up with NVM and Node, which NVM is a Node version manager, which is great to have because specifically for Hyperfy, we are building on version 22.11, which is a little bit behind what the newest Node is, but it's definitely, you want to be in this version when building in Hyperfy. And so NVM helps you switch between versions that you have. So if you have never used Node, then when you set it up and you install 22.11, it'll be the only version you have. But if you're using it for other things, maybe you're playing Eliza or different things, it uses 23.5, 23.3, something like that. So it's always, you need to know which node your terminal is in at any given time. Git is a way to version control, interact with GitHub. It's great for saving versions of your world. You need it to share your repo with others, to tinker with things beyond hypes, etc. So, yep, that's kind of the basis of that. And so we'll just jump right into here. So basically, Git also helps you clone repos or copy repos. So this is the Hyperfy repo. It's the main branch, which did just get a version update. So it has, and there'll be another one soon. So everything that's being built currently right now is in the dev branch. Once it's kind of at a comfortable, stable, works, it's been tested, it's been developed, maybe modified, it gets pushed to the main branch. So if there's ever a time where you like see people posting videos or you see things happening and you're like, wait, that doesn't happen for me when I clone the repo, it's probably because it's being on the dev branch currently. But everything will eventually, once it reaches its like comfortable, stable form, be pushed to the main branch. So we'll open up terminal here. So to get into WSL, once you have it all installed and stuff, type WSL. Gonna pop me into WSL. And you want to go to your home folder, CD tilde, which is above the tab. Now, I want to make sure I am in 2211. So you do nvm use 2211 once you have it installed and stuff. So it'll tell me here you're on node 2211. So now we're good. You could at this moment create a directory, but we can just do that in one fell swoop here. So let's make that a little smaller for a second. And we can just copy this. Git clone. So this is going to clone this URL. So we go to our terminal. I just clicked here to copy it, paste it by right clicking. Oh, I see. So that is because, this ending here is the name of the directory I'm going to create. So we will do demo how. And it yelled at me because I already have another directory called my world. So you can name this whatever you want. It doesn't have to be my world. So now I created the directory demo how, and it's cloning the Hyperfy repo into that directory or folder. Boom, it did it. So now I want to go into that directory and I can check. That's all the stuff I just cloned from the world or from the repo. So I CD'd into it already. CD'd in demo how instead of my world. This is copying the environment variable example and creating one for you. So when I'm in the directory, I hit that, I hit enter. It now took the environment example and it created one for me called .env. So at this point, what I did was I just cloned the main branch. So what we actually want is, in this instance, is the dev branch. So here, I can fetch origin, which will pull all the branches, gain access to them. I do this. Git checkout means I'm switching to a branch. I'm pulling from the origin, which is the GitHub repo that we cloned, and their dev branch. I'm also creating a local dev branch and pairing it to the Hyperfy dev branch, all with this command right here. Pretty handy. That there. So it created a local dev branch to set it up to track the origin, which is the Hyperfy repo, and it switched us to our new dev branch that we created, all with that handy quick command, which is great. Now you want to make sure that you have everything from their dev branch in your local dev branch. So you pull, boom, already up to date. All right. At this point, I need to install. So npm install, and we can do a -- verbose so we can see everything. You don't have to, but it's nice. That'll allow you to see what's going on. Kind of gives you an idea of like how fast it's going to. Okay, now we see there's some vulnerabilities. This is nothing to be worried about at the moment. This is mostly due to somewhere in the dependency branch. Something is old or is being updated or is being changed. At this moment, it's nothing to be worried about. I know it's red. You could do an npm audit fix, which will make it less troublesome, and it probably will take away those 4 highs. No, 1 moderate. Okay, that's good. See, it's just things with ES build, length, some packages and dependencies are always changing. And so some things that get used in the chain are using different versions, and so it yells at you, but it's nothing to be concerned about. So I've installed. Now I want to npm run dev. What this is going to do is going to create your development environment. So it's going, boom. It says running on port 3000. So I can go up here. I can type in localhost 3000. And here's my world. Boom, bam, boom. Okay. So a couple of things now. Once you are in here, this is the hamburger menu. This allows you to change your name in the world. You can scale this UI. Let's make it like right somewhere there. You can pop it into full screen. You can, build prompts. What's that? Didn't see any build prompts. And that is because I'm not in build mode. So out of the gate, when you start a fresh world in your .env, there's a place for admin password. By default, it's blank. So when I press tab, I go into build mode. So these are the builder prompts that it's talking about here. Hide, boom, bam. They give you some tips on what to do. To grab something with the left mouse, to inspect it with the right mouse, switch to the gizmo, duplicate pin, delete, destroy, and double jump and fly. When you're in build mode, you can fly with the double tap. When you're not in build mode, you do a flip. So let's take a look at what else is here. So stats. This brings up kind of your frames per second, your CPU, GPU usage, your ping. It's good to check every now and then, just to see how your world's doing. Down the line, you'll learn ways to optimize, and this is just letting you know like what's going on with your computer use and the server use and stuff. So you can toggle it on and off from here. You can hide everything with Z. You can change your resolution. You kind of see that it changed a little bit there. You can change like shadows if you need. Often when I'm in build, I'll turn things off unless I need to see some lights that I've added in or some emissions or something. I'll turn these things down low, so you don't need to be running at the best optimization while you're building usually, unless you really want to, check something to see that it looks like you need it to look like when people aren't optimizing. If you're working on a slower machine, slower connection and stuff, this is how you can kind of dial in your perfect combination of shadows and resolution and post-processing and dealing with lights and things like that, so that it works faster for you if you need it. So that's this menu. And then it's on mobile too. It's on VR as well. These are part of build mode. So what this does is allows me to change this heading in the tab here, and also what shows up when on the browser platform soon. So this is our demo world. Boom, changed right there. This is our description. This is just a test. This is an image. I don't know. Let's sure. And this is a base VRM. So by default, it's this. You can change this to a different VRM. This is the ground. So you can change that out for something else here too. It's the amount of players that you're limiting. This is saying that everyone in the world is now a builder if you want. So maybe you're hanging out with people and you want some help and stuff. Instead of having to like give them all admin password, yada yada, you can just toggle this on while you're around. And then you're like, okay, thanks for the help. Toggle it back off. Now they're not builders anymore. It's super handy. And so you might be like, well, wait, where did this image go? Well, it's now part of this loading screen. So if I were to refresh with Control-Shift-R, oh, it loaded so fast because there's nothing in the world. But as you saw, there's a description down there in the corner. What I typed in, and that image is what I did it, and there's a loading bar. Obviously, it's loading extremely fast because the world is empty. But if you do have a lot more going on in your world, that's handy to have because it gives some people something to look at. It lets them know that the world is actually loading, gives them something to chew on about like what the world is, name, description, etc. So this plus here is a great new feature of like the height palette. And so these are some base ones. This is going to expand over time that allow you to, say you need a model in the world to add a script to. You just click this. Wow, now I have it. Grabbing it around. So if I were to press 1, that is grabbing. If I press 2, now I see on the builder on the side there, it changed to translate. 3, change to rotate. 4, change to scale. Okay. Now if I click on it, I have a gizmo. I can move like this, but if I press T, did it do it? Oh yeah, see on the left there, it's changing from local space to world space. Local space to world space. So world space, local space.
Might have to move it a little bit to give a good idea because if you brought it straight in like that, or like rotated a good little bit, and then hit the world and then the other, and then so it'll be. Yeah. I've had that issue too a couple of times where I was like, I didn't think it was going, but I brought it in straight on the
local space, world space, local space, world space. So if it's not quite moving the way you're expecting, that's most likely what you need to toggle as the T. That'll help you interact with the gizmo better. Scale, as it implies. Wow. X. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. Well, guess what? Control Z. Boom, it's back. Duplicate R. And you're like, wait, what happened? It's because it's right over it. So if I went to grab, there it is. And pin, so lock it in place so it can't be moved. Unpinned. Now these are, because I just duplicated it, they are, if I were to add script to these now, they will behave the same because they are instances of each other. So if I now right click, I can bring up the information for this model. So we have some handy things here. This allows you to disable it if it doesn't need to be in the world. Maybe you're just testing or it's not important at the moment. This is pin, that's the same as P. This is preload. So when you have a lot of stuff going on in your world, some things you want to preload. And usually those are things like the ground, maybe the first thing people interact with when they come in the world is good to preload. And then other things that you come across later, you can let that not preload. And so that'll kind of like help out with the initial load process for people. If you have everything set to preload, then you're literally waiting for the entire world to load before it opens up for the user, right? If you have just the things that they need, like the ground, something they're standing on, the avatar, the first couple things they're going to see or interact with, those are great to preload because you want those to be there before they come in the world. Otherwise, the VRM will come in the world first, and then things will be loading around it, and it's kind of weird. And if you are standing on something and it doesn't load before you load, you drop through the ground, So you want things that are immediately interacting with to be preloaded, but everything isn't necessary.
So you can kind of fix that too sometimes if you do have issues, like if you have a bigger world and you have areas that's like, a lot more intensive than others, you can even do your spawn point so you're not like spawning directly in the middle of everything. You can kind of change that and to point it to a position where it is. I've noticed that helps load things a little bit sometimes too if you do have issues or a lot going on. Yeah, just kind of put your spawn point somewhere.
Totally, and put your spawn point somewhere. I will go back to that menu in a second. Mm-hmm. We haven't shown the chat yet, so if you press enter, there's a chat here. If you type something in it, it'll show up like that. Oh, my name's anonymous still. Okay, so I can go here and I can change it to something. And I can hit enter again to go here, type. Okay, now it's changed. There's a couple of commands that you can do from the chat that are handy. So first one is if you're admin, you could do /chat clear. It clears all the chat. If you gave someone an admin code to help you out, or if you have an admin code, you could do /admin, put the code that you put in your .env and press enter, and it will pop up and say access granted. If you want to change the spawn point, like he's talking about, to get out of this, you press escape. Escape gets you out of things. Let's say I want to move over here, press enter, I can do spawn set, and now the spawn's updated. So now when I refresh, I'll come in right here, and I'm facing a different direction, but there you go. And so that's kind of what he's saying. If you want to set your spawn point to something else, so you're not falling through things, etc. What else? You can also change your name from here if you don't want to use the hamburger. I changed my name.
GG's on Bogey in the side chat too, yeah, with the commands there he dropped. Yeah.
Oh, nice, cool. And so, yeah, let's go back to this. So you can get to this two ways. Like a right click brings it up. But if I go to here, this layers, it's showing me all the apps that I have in world. So right now you might be like, wait, don't you have two things? Well, because they're still identical. So if you click spaceship, you can see I have instances of it right now. It's just showing me how many triangles are in it, the textures, if the code's available, like unlocked for others to see, how big the file size. And so right now it's just coming up as one, quote unquote, and two instances because they're identical. So if I were to click on this, it brings me to the same place as right clicking on this, right? So if you have a bunch of hypes or a bunch of apps or a bunch of models in your world, you go here, you can literally search for them by name and you can find them easily that way. Here shows you where it's at. This toggles it on and off. So let's go back to it. You'll notice it's just name model. So down here we have name tag. You can go in here and you can change it to demo1. You can put some metadata on it, a link to your site, what it's about, your name, etc. Go back here and now you see it's changed. So this is unique. So what this will do is, because currently those are instances of the same thing, if I click unique, and now I were to replicate this, and now I look in my apps, you'll see that those two are instances of each other, but this next one I made is unique. Yes, it still has the same name currently, but if I were to change that name here, you'll see that now it's separate. Another way I can do that is these two are instances. So I can go over one of them and I can press unlinked. And I didn't do that by default. Okay. And then I think I also need to, sometimes you have to toggle this on, off, press unique again. And now I should have, yep, there we go. So now they're all unique from each other. So any changes I make on one won't affect all the other ones. But if they're all instances of each other, then everything you do for one as far as code goes, we'll do it for all of them. It's not going to change the position. Like if obviously I have them in different positions and stuff, and that's fine. But if you have scripts in them, then it'll change it for all of them. So that's something to keep note of. Yeah, so let's take a look at like something like image. So here I have image and you see like, oh, but I want to be able to see it. I can scroll on the mouse to turn it as well. I can drop it there. I can right click. Now I'm in here and I have some options here. So shadows is on the ground. There's like shadows of the actual frame. Lit, you can kind of see it changed it from lit to whatever, transparent. You'll see once we put an image in. So let's go here again. Yeah, that's fine. Let's drop that in. This image isn't a transparent image, so transparent's not actually going to do anything. Do I have another one? I'm not right now. You can change the width here. Change the height here. So you can scale that way too. You can also go here to see all your scales. So I could just say, I want everything. I want it to be 2 times bigger overall. Boom, bam, bam, quick. You know, I want to move it over. You could do it. Oops. You could do it with this here, or you can grab it, move it around. You can press 2. You can press T. You can move it around, move it forward, move it up. I press 3. Now I can rotate it, or I can use, I can just place it there, press 1, click it. And while I have it grabbed, I can scroll wheel to turn it to. If it's like fine adjustments, that's handy sometimes. I could press 4 and I could scale it this way. But honestly, I really like to scale from here. It's more exact. And yeah, it's, I mean, you just scale it down. Boom, bam, boom. I didn't have to do weird dragging or try to keep everything same or whatever. Sometimes you want to, you know, do it the other way, but I find this really, really handy, really useful. Same with like rotation, exact rotations that you want if you want to move it 90 degrees and stuff, to make sure it's in a certain area. That could be really handy. Up here, you can delete this. Bam, it's gone. Going another one. This changes out the model. So right now we have that box. I could change out for a different model. This downloads it. This is showing me the nodes that are part of the GLB. So currently this has a mesh that is that block. And this is good to know when you want to start referring to different parts of the code. This is where code goes. This is where script goes. So currently this out of the box, this model has the ability to toggle on collision, meaning I can collide with it or walk through it. It's calling on the, it's saying it's adding it to the world. It's working with the position and the scale. And yeah, it's creating a rigid body. So in here, with that, here it is. I can turn it to no. No, no, I can. Which one is it? Yep, that one. So look, no, I'm not colliding with it. Right click, change it back to yes. Bam. No, I'm colliding with it. Tab out of build mode, tab in the build mode. Yeah, what else? There's video. Bam, same as image. This one, I can put it where I want it. Right click it, brings up this. You can drop your video here. I don't know where video is right now. Yeah. Play a video, pretty straightforward. You can loop it, you can unloop it. Set the audio volume on it. There's text. I haven't really played with this one, to be honest. I'm usually making full UIs. Sometimes it'll come in backwards like that. Right click it, you can enter some text. Hello world. Hello worlds. Change the color. Yeah. Okay, it does work with CSS stuff. That's nice. Align it. I'm not really sure how. Oh, yeah, you can type transparent. So it's just like CSS commands that you can use with that. That's super handy. Double-sided means if I'm on both sides of it, like if I were to walk around the other side of it, I could see it on the other side. Okay, it doesn't reverse it though, because it's not a UI billboard that's actually falling. Yeah, okay, so that's not a setting here. That's fine. Delete that. What else we got? Boogie, what do you think? Doge?
For this part, I think that's pretty good overall basic for the rundown. Not a lot of stuff's kind of new here, but it does make it a little bit more helpful with the kind of new UIs that they've got set up kind of from what we had in the beginning. But yeah.
Yeah, so some quick hotkeys. Z removes everything. Yep, escape is always useful. Tab brings you in and out of builder mode. You can see my reticles changing red there. If you're on the mouse and you're on the above world screen, so if that's how I can interact with these. If I click into world, then I can move around. If I press escape, I can go back to the cursor. You can search.
You go over the sizing and stuff too, I think. I know you can change this, some of that. I think just the UI, basics, little things like that.
The size there.
Disabled versus on with the actual build modes. Once they get used to that, that can be toggled on and off. Yeah. I think what else?
Escape. Yeah, builder prompts. Back in the hamburger. Bam, those are gone. Make this a little bigger. Escape. Z. Click in the world. Now you see that I don't have my reticle, but I can still kind of go to where I need to do, but I can't interact with anything. So you're actually going to want that if you want to interact with stuff. Enter to get to chat. /chat cleared. Clear it.
Chat size will be affected also by the other UI sizes as well, so just keep that in mind too. Yep.
Definitely.
Yep.
Anything else I should dig into? I feel like scripting kind of is like its own little rabbit hole. And maybe that's like a follow-up.
Yeah, maybe basic things like that. I mean,
what else can you do? You can see that in here, it's periodically saving my world. You can change in your .env the amount that it happens. If I control C here, I've killed my server, my local server. I can run a command npm run world clean, which is a script that's already part of the code. And so what that will do is like if I've deleted some things, like I deleted the image and I deleted or whatever, it's actually kind of lingering in your world assets folder as like a thing that has occurred in your world. So you can run the npm world clean and you'll see that it deleted all the stuff I'm not actually using. So it deleted the images that I added to the thing. It deleted the scripts that were in the image and video. It deleted the GLBs that were the monitors, if you will, because I'm not using them anymore. So that cleaned it up for me. Then I can do npm run dev again, and you'll see I've been disconnected. There's this handy connect button, reconnect button now that you can click. Boom, bam, boom.
Yeah, come in handy, especially like if you've got a lot of videos or you're testing out different ones and, you take one out, put another one in eventually, or no audio, things like that, and just kind of proper clean up on that side of it.
I feel like that's quick and good.